If it please the court, my name's Lam, initial N. Today I appear for the respondent, the Federal Republic of Rantania. Your Honor, the case today deals with the matter of a government violated international law by conducting wrongdoing in relation to three separate matters. Firstly, inhuman actions against innocent civilians of another state during territorial conflicts. Secondly, the retaliation of the government against its political anti-supporters within its own state. And third, the destroying action of a government toward its own historical religious heritage site. The case also deals with the question of legitimacy of a government formed by a gang of political military officers by overthrowing its own president. This government requested to represent its state at international court for dispute matter. Your Honor, I now will come to the summary of facts. So Mythical Temple Complex is a significant religious and historical site dated long back, 2,500 years BC. Unfortunately, the temple was located between two states, the applicant, the Republic of Aprophe, and our client, the Federal Republic of Rantania, the respondent. This had caused continuing conflicts between two states, from small-scale fighting to full-scale war. Known for the Mythical War during 1962 to 1964. During this time, the Aprophe army attacked hundreds of innocent civilians who resided surrounding the disputed border and the Mythical site, forced them into labor, 12-hour shift without any compensation. Their lives during this war is filled with pain and suffering. We will call this Tabando event, which we will revisit in the next stage. The war went on until the two states came to the agreement that they need to establish peace. They negotiated a peace agreement, which ended with the 1965 treaty, where the citizen or the civilian was free to choose where to reside. So the internees during the war imprisonment decided to move and resided in Rantania. The border since then remained in peace. In 1980, our client, Rantania, together with its three neighboring states, decided to establish the Eastern Nation International Organization in order to strengthen their economic cooperation and political ties. Every matter or disputes of the members were resolved by the Eastern Nation Court, where all the member states respect the judgment of the court. In Aprophe, the applicant, the president who was elected by the highest vote in Aprophean history, President Green, expressed the interest to join this organization, so-called ENI. In order to meet the precondition of membership, he implemented a few policies. one of which is the open border policy, which allow ENI members, citizens, to freely enter, reside, and work in Aprophe. This policy of Mr. President Green apparently conflicts and caused dissatisfaction and disagreement to some of other members of his government, specifically the members of the labor union, the nationalists, and the opposition party. There were strikes and there were protests against him. The protests and the conflicts toward his policy was escalated to the peak after this event. In 2001, there's a documentary was published that brought up the lives and the suffering that the military internees bear during Mythical War. This attracted the attention of the human rights advocacy group in Rantania called the ILSA. They brought proceedings against Aprophe army to the court of Rantania. And under the instruction of the Eastern Nation Court, the court of Rantania made its judgment in favor of the plaintiff, the victims, and order Aprophe to compensate all the damages that they have caused to the victims. Clearly, this is like a great opportunity for the opposition party to raise their conflict to the peak, which ended up with a coup led by Commander Page Endler, who attacked the presidential palace of President Green, forced President Green to flee to Rantania in the middle of the night. She, after that, announced interim government, interim president, and declared remain in power. During her governance, she has established a strong army and took actions against pro-green survival, threatened them to give up their political belief or else would be killed. 50 soldiers, 80 civilians were killed, and hundreds others were wounded in just one of the strikes. ENI Council was urged to take actions against this. Airstrike attack was brought in order to defeat Endler's government. They fled to the mythical site, and used the advantage of this valuable site, threatened ENI to stop the attack, or else the site will be destroyed. Received unsatisfied response from ENI. Endler ordered detonation of explosives to destroy some of the buildings in the whole complex. Your Honor, the applicant submitted in the court for 4 claims. First, the attack of ENI against Endler's government. They claim that it is against international law, and they held Rantania responsible for that. Second, they claim that the judgment of Rantania court in the Turbando case against Aprophe army is again contrary with international law, and therefore Rantania officer cannot execute the judgment of this court. Thirdly, They claim that their destroying to the Maitukar Wood Temple is not against international law. And lastly, they claim that the Anglos government is illegitimate and therefore the international court must exercise all their claims. Your Honor, our submission is that you dismiss all these claims for the reason that we are going to submit to you in our next appearance. Thank you.